Oh yeah, absolutely. On so many levels. Personal hygiene. Both my kids were not potty trained before treatment, and within treatment, probably about 2 months after, they were completely potty trained. So that saved us a lot of money on pull-ups and diapers and so forth. That was a huge milestone. That was probably one of the biggest ones. Also, using utensils. My children never use utensils, and now they use a fork and a spoon, and they drink out of a straw, a regular cup. That was a huge milestone. Emotionally, the affection, and communicating that they wanted tickles, or rub my foot, mommy, or I hurt, mommy, things that I didn't have the opportunity to understand before, because they would cry and I would think, oh my gosh, they have an ear infection, but they can't tell me, or their arm's broken. How am I going to know this? But now they can point and tell me, and that's such a huge transition to understanding what your child is going through and what they need. It's the first significant treatment that has had so much effectiveness after. We see the changes that only a family would notice,
right? But
then the community is noticing, the teachers, their therapists, strangers that don't see us all the time. They're like, oh gosh, your kids they looked right at me, they waved goodbye, that's wonderful, they're pointing, I can't believe how much they're talking. So when you're hearing that unsolicited information, as a family member what they went through. Yes, it's working, but look what the community is seeing as well. They did not tell the teachers and therapists that work with them on a daily basis, because we really wanted honest feedback and unsolicited feedback. So when they say, Jack is really coming a long way in a short time, look what he did today. He played a game today where he would never play, taking turns. Oh, yeah. That was huge. The eye contact, the verbal, body language, going out into the community, that was huge, because my kids would elope, they would run away, they would scream, they would stem on the aisles. And now my kids are like the most behaved in the grocery stores. They know that they need to stay with mommy. They don't take off. They're not stemming on the aisles. And even in the parking lot where it became a safety hazard, now they stay with me. And I can pretty much take them anywhere by myself, where I could never do that before the treatments. I wouldn't do 2 at a time. I would do 1, but I would still be nervous. And they've come a long way in a short time since the treatment, and I'm so blessed that we had the opportunity to do it. And I hope that other parents that are watching this have the opportunity and seek the information to help their children, because it's really rejuvenating their lives for a better quality of life. Another thing with the children is their textile issues that they had. My kids never liked to touch sand, Play-Doh, stickers. And since the treatment, we go to the beach for hours. They go in the water, they play in the sand, wear Band-Aids on their skin. They play with Play-Doh. They play with shaving cream during therapy. Stickers, they love stickers. And when we first tried to put a Band-Aid on one of Jack's boo-boos before treatment, he screamed so loud, I thought the whole city heard. And now I can put a Band-Aid on him and there's no issue. It's so normal, I don't even think about it. And now they're flexible when it comes to even, like, for instance, going to Disneyland. When we went before the treatment, it was the same route every time. And if we changed the route, they would get really upset and almost like hurt themselves because they couldn't handle that. Now, where do we want to go today? They are, and they're so open to it. It's not even an issue anymore. And I thought those things that I just said would never get better. They would never change. And now I don't even think about it. And we just look back and go, Guy, I can't even, how did we do it? Kiddos are very, very smart, and people don't realize how smart they are. They just can't verbalize their thoughts and feelings. And that's why autism is so mysterious. And with the treatments, they are able to start developing on a fast pace. Gaining speed, because along with it, when the behaviors go down and they're able to touch, feel, sense, and speak, then they're able to learn quicker without behaviors. They're able to try new things, try new foods, try different shoes, routine, try to ride a bike. We can never get them to go on a big wheel or ride a bike, and now they do that. And when you hear the diagnosis of your child, you think, my kid's never going to be able to do any of this. And I used to feel that way, and now it's like, I can't wait till my kid does this. There's just steps that you have to take, because they still have autism, but it's not who they are, because they're getting better. And when your children are getting better, the parents are with that, the families with that. We're all getting better, because we're so vibrant on the milestones that they're making, rather than the things that they haven't done before. We're so happy, so blessed that they had the opportunity to receive this treatment, because I don't know if a lot of people have that opportunity, because they don't know, or they are told, oh, you can't do that, it's not going to work, you have to try this, or there's no cure for autism, this is, your kid's never going to talk and you'll just have to deal with it. It's heart-wrenching that parents are given this information and know information with hope. So I hope that this can, and I'm living proof that my kids are so much better. I feel like they've grown in years, 2 or 3 years of education and behavior, and they're kind of caught up to where they should be. A year since they've received treatment, and they're still doing new things all the time. They completely amaze us. Chad and I were having a heavy discussion in the car, and Luke said, okay, that's enough, you two. Oh. I don't know any 6-year-old that would say that has autism. And we both started laughing, and we just couldn't believe, because it was so appropriate. Yeah. Because he tuned in, he understood the feelings and the body language. And for him to say that, it was so appropriate. I think any parent out there would pay or do whatever it took to get your child better. And they're not 100%, but who is? They're children, they're evolving, they're changing, they're understanding their body. I never thought that my kids would be potty trained, and they are. It's always told the magic number for kids with autism and being potty trained is around 12 to 14 years of age. And I couldn't believe that. And I thought, I'm going to be changing my son when he's 20 years old. I just, you think the worst at times, and now I can't believe how much money I'm saving on pull-ups, because we're not buying them anymore. It was also a little bit of leap of faith, and we went for it, and we're so glad that we did. We have different children, but how do I explain this? They're still Jack and Luke. Yeah. They still have their personality. It's just now that it's coming out, and they're so funny. They laugh at the appropriate times at movies, which they never did. We can take them to the movies that we never could before. We took our first trip last April to Arizona, 6-hour drive, first visit to a hotel. They did wonderful. It's another thing, restaurants, we never went out to dinner. We never would go in a restaurant because when we did, it was a nightmare. We left, 20 minutes in, had to get the food to go. People are staring at us. They don't understand why our kids are behaving that way. Now we can go to a restaurant and we pinch ourselves. Like, I can't believe, look how good they're being. Sure. We go to a restaurant and they get excited. And when we first did that, it had been 4 years since we went to a restaurant. And we went to a restaurant and they were wonderful. They ate their food with utensils, no behaviors. Chad and I, we just were amazed.